and welcome to 9-inch Charge. Today we've got another Warscroll review coming up for you. We're going to have a look at the Stormstrike Chariot for the Stormcast Eternals. Now this is one of the coolest models that has been released for them in recent times. It's got a nice amount of presence on the battlefield, it looks really great, so let's have a look at how the Warscroll performs on the tabletop. Swift war carriages of the Angelus conclaves, Stormstrike Chariots are potential line breakers. As they build up speed, they draw the energies of Azure to themselves before unleashing them in a thunderous blast amidst the enemy ranks. Stormstrike Chariots have a move of 12, a save of 3+, a bravery of 7, a wounds characteristic of 12, and carry the keywords Order, Stormcast Eternals, Thunderstrike, Stormstrike Chariot, and come in at 165 points. Well, straight away there, we can see that it's got a really good move of 12, very fast for a Stormcast Eternals unit, excellent wounds characteristic of 12 as well, and a save of 3+ is really great, all-out defense, making that a 2+ if you need it. This thing isn't going to be budged. So I can't really complain about the stats, I think they're all really solid. The only thing to say is, although it's got a really big move, it does have quite a large footprint on the tabletop, so it might get zoned out quite easily, even though it is very maneuverable. So just watch out for how your enemy is deploying. But as the Warscroll description already said, this is a line breaker, so if they are deploying in a way that leaving you very many gaps in their defenses, you can use these chariots as a way to break through those lines. So let's check out the weapons profiles. A Stormstrike Chariot is driven by Angelus Charioteers, armed with one of the following options: Great Stormbow and Stormstrike Axe, or Stormstrike Axe and Tempestuous Spear. So the Stormstrike Axe, which is the option that you always get, has a range of 1, 3 attacks, 3s to hit, 3s to wound, rend 1, and a damage of 1. I think that's pretty good, to be honest. You know, we've got to remember that these guys aren't heroes on the back of here. They are normal infantry, and I think that's a pretty good attack profile for a normal infantryman. It's got rend, hits and wounds easily, good weight of attacks, so I think that's pretty good. The Great Stormbow has a range of 18 inches, has 2 attacks, hits and wounds on 3s, has a rend of 1 and a damage of 1. Again, that's not bad, but I do think that this really isn't a shooting unit, and I think that you're going to be wanting to take your Judicators or your Vigilors to do your shooting in your Stormcast army, and this isn't going to be one of your main shooting units. It can, potentially ping a wound off here and there, but I think actually you should probably keep this more combat orientated, and we'll have a look at the next weapon to see why. The Tempestuous Spear has a range of 2, it has 2 attacks, hits and wounds on 3s, so exactly the same as the Great Stormbow there. However, it has a rend of 2 and a damage characteristic of 2 as well. So you're getting twice the rend and twice the damage, and I think it's important to remember that you can use this weapon in your combat phase and the enemy's combat phase, but it's quite difficult to get shooting in your opponent's phase. So odds are, once you're in combat, you'll be using this more than you would do the bow anyway. And the Griffs have razor beaks and claws, 1 inch range, 6 attacks, 3s to hit, 3s to wound, rend of 2 and 1 damage. I'm really loving the rend 2 on these attacks. They all hit really easily, everything is 3s and 3s. I think you're going to be able to push through damage quite easily, especially with the rend 2 on the spear and on the claws. That all in all, no matter what loadout you take, gives you a weight of 11 attacks a turn, which definitely isn't to be sniffed at. Okay, so let's have a look at abilities. First up we have Celestial Blaze. As the Stormstrike Chariot races across the battlefield, the carriage is charged with celestial energy that blinds the foe. Subtract 1 from hit rolls for attacks that target this unit if the unit has made a charge move in the same turn. What I like about this is that it gives me the confidence to be able to charge this unit headlong into pretty much anything. If you're going to be -1 to hit and you've got 12 wounds and a 3-up save with all that defense is going to be made a 2-up save, you're very unlikely to be cut down in 1 turn. So I think this is brilliant. This gives you the ability to be able to charge into whatever you want. Expect that you're going to be at least able to hold up the enemy for a turn and deal out all your damage, which, as we've seen, for 165 points is pretty substantial. But the next ability is the ability where this unit really shines, and that is Azure Unleashed. The impact of a Stormstrike Chariot on the charge can obliterate even the most durable of shield walls. After this unit makes a charge move, you can pick one enemy unit within 1 inch of this unit and roll a number of dice equal to the unmodified charge roll for that charge move. For each 4+, that unit suffers 1 mortal wound. Now this is where they shine as line breakers or chaff clearers. If you had 2 of these and they both made their charges, say you made on average an 8-inch charge and then rolled averagely, you're looking at 4 mortal wounds each. So you've already killed, it's the normal battle line, 8, and say there's 10 in the unit's just cleared out straight away, just from the charge move pretty much. Or if there's something else that you're looking to put mortal wounds on, a big nasty, something quite scary, and you're thinking I don't have a lot of mortal wound output, you can chuck this in there. The other thing that I think it really shines on is individual characters. There's a lot of characters out there with wounds profiles of only 5 or 6, and if you can cause, 4 mortal wounds, something like that, on the charge before you even attack, you've got a really good chance of taking out these characters straight away. Now, this might not always be possible because a clever opponent will bubble wrap their heroes around a battle line unit or something that will be able to defend them. But Stormcast are masters of teleportation and riding the lightning, so you might get a good chance to negate this and get round the back. So with these abilities, combined with the weight of attacks that they have, I think they're absolutely fantastic. I think they're really going to shine if you take them in pairs. And I think you are going to want to take the gamble on getting the double turn with them. You want to go in, clear something, and then not get charged back and bogged down. You want to then be able to charge again and clear out a couple of units. And I think on the double turn, if you're able to do that, these units are going to be absolutely incredible in your army. Let me know in the comments if you've taken any. Let me know what you think of them. Let me know your successes on them. What's the best thing they've taken out on the charge? As always, this has been 9-inch Charge, and I will catch you next time.